too much. But now, even though we'll see the times, but those lap times aren't going to count anymore. Now, this leads me to a yellow flag situation. I'm almost sure that wouldn't happen. Almost. With their limbs in two parts, you know. So
exactly,
people will do anything, but that is going to be touring qualifying. Or yellow flags, this could cost them. Well, now it's going to be even more crucial than ever.
There will be someone who will try and exploit it at some stage, and I don't fully agree with it, because yes, Fabio and rolled through the corners safely, but opened the gas earlier, and that made that sector fast for him. That's actually the key. Is hard to do, but that's what gives you the lap time. You use the grip from the tyre. So there is an argument to say, if you looked at Mark, it didn't affect the sector, but under this new rule, that lap time would have been taken away and he would have lost his pole position. So yeah, from top of the game, and generally they do make safe decisions.
The thing for me, right, that I've got a bit of an issue, we just haven't seen this before, right, coming down out of turn 5 onto the back straight. So was there a collision with Polisbar? A little crest there.
Yeah, it's so, if you want to hold on to that front brake, you're risking taking a trip through the gravel.
Just about the yellow flags, just to go back to it and try and finish it off a little bit. We were impressed by him. Generally only getting 2 flying laps, aren't you? Really? Some of the long tracks in particular, you're getting 2 runs, you probably only get laps for you. And that your outlaps what's counting ultimately. Because that is possible, isn't it? Is that good for the sport?
No.
I do agree, and don't get me wrong here, I'm not wanting people to ride fast through. Yes, generally felt the force. I don't know, it's just one of those. The fastest laps aren't taking pole position.
No, and that was Jack Miller's big gripe, that under a control don't have another tyre or the time on the clock to pop in the pit lane and get another go and really go through it with a fine tooth comb, and we don't want more intervention from their part.
That's it. By a few people last time out after what happened, and I can completely get their point. You've got a rider stricken in the gravel because it's not Formula 1 as well, where it takes 10 minutes to get things and people. It's something we'll come up against over the weekend. We've currently got a KTM 1-2 with Polisbar. Good first practice for Moto3 in cool conditions. But KTM had a really good showing. In fact, it's a 1-2-3, isn't it? He was right in touch with Frankie Morbidelli. It was right down to that last lap. Brad Binder's lap times were, that KTM's moved on, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think they took some big steps over the winter. They are the most improved podium pace. It would have been different if he'd been in that group, because you had Dobby, you had Rittens, you had Dobby at times by yourself, as what Brad done, but he looks good on the bike, he looks comfortable. We always said his style was going to really suit, and it is still quite early in their MotoGP career.
Just had a couple of tweets already coming in. A lot of opinion points, aren't there, to go on this weekend, whether it's the rider injuries, whether it's the yellow flag situation, who've flown to Barcelona and been into a hospital and had operations. Is that all within the coronavirus? What I understand is they took their tests and they were all fine and kept in their bubble still because of those restrictions. But Tom Brown has got in touch with us, Michael, and said, remember, writes to us and says, the new yellow flag rule is a joke. How many people will accidentally run into the gravel at the end place? It happened to Misano, for example. You look at your dashboard and it's quite easy to run on into turn 1 and go, drat.
It's so true. And then there would have been a single yellow flag nulled, so yeah, for me, it doesn't work as they're kind of stipulating at the moment, but it may get revised.
Alex Calcross says 1.5 seconds off. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Alex Rins, I'm thinking Sam Lowe's for Alex Rins, something in that kind of situation in Qatar. It might be where the team step in and goes, that's created a quandary for Lucho and his team, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's one of those, if you feel it too badly, it's obviously going to be painful, but it's when you stop and then your hands a little bit before, where the doctors need to save the riders from themselves, and that goes for Alex and Mark. They've got the mindset that it's all about the recovery. They're not focused on looking a sick note off their doctor. They want to get back on the...
Let's not go there about that kind of reading material, but quite entertaining. But on Twitter, it's all lit up about whether the right thing has been done here by here on BT Sport. And it's our job to ask the questions, what are they'll be similar. In fact, in terms of the rubber down, Michael, that does mean that they'll rubber down.
Yeah, in theory, the track should be even faster this weekend, so the little bit of rain during the week won't have done too much.
Enough to have washed any of that away. I just want to talk about Valentino late choice as well. It was on the grid that he switched to. And then a retirement from the race, which was a very, very strange one, and I've heard that Yamaha have actually sent engines back to Japan to be checked, to get a check. But there were a couple of concerns there.
That's interesting. Most interested in that. It was a difficult weekend for Valentino right up to that point. Obviously, the tyre choice on the grid and then able to fight on the bike, so they need to find something for him to get a better feeling with the bike, to get better tyre life. They're a little bit stockier. Valentino's taller, obviously that gives him a few extra kilos to carry, which then stresses the tyre. Corner at speed, then obviously you pick the throttle up earlier to make up that lack of corner speed, which then worked.
Speed weather, Yamaha, they have changed things there. Something's happened. That bike, Fabio Quartararo says it's a harder bike to ride. So development of it that little bit more, and it's not quite suiting Valentino.
Valentino's always been a strong race, aggressively late, so they are two different riding styles, that's for sure. And you could be correct in that where the Yamaha factory team have gone back to what's in the satellite squad, chose that older chassis, and you could see Morbidelli.
There he comes through the final corner. 8th youngest winner in MotoGP history last time out. Just back to his first ever Grand Prix win, which was here at Jerez. You remember that? Started at the back of the grid, and that was his first win. And you think where what he's done since then. Should have won a Moto2 championship. Last year missed out. Oh, talking of impressive first races of the year, Dovi. Oh, broken collarbone, gets it plated, main barrier, but puts it on the podium, and he's 16 points clear of Marc Marquez. Now, if Marc isn't riding this weekend, nice. Well, it wasn't great to hear when we found out that he wasn't going to get a 2020 bike. But Taka Nakagami.
Signs of what Taka's capable of. In morning warm-up last week, he was right at the front, setting super fast lap times, but needs to perform a little bit more to warrant that seat. Obviously, HRC would like to have a Japanese rider on Honda.
Crutchlow's having a busy session. This is his 13th lap. He's off with a 1:39, faster than Tito Rabat, with a pin in his. Imagine him riding with a wooden spoon between his teeth, didn't you, for the whole weekend? But it looks like he's going to keep going.
Sessions to save yourself for Sunday, but Cal, with the amount of laps he's done in this session already, 12 on the board, he must be feeling it's not niggling him too much when he's out there, and it doesn't get any worse as the weekend progresses. It's Cal. He'll be able to kind of block it out. He's had to come back from a lot of injuries. If you can forget about the pain, get on the bike, focus. There's a lot to be said for the adrenaline and the sheer focus. You're not thinking about pain, you let that go to the back of your mind, unless it's really acute and it's really sharp, and then it keeps.
Record viewing figures for French TV last weekend. He was on the front page of L'Equipe, which is the big day, but to be on the front page of that would be the equivalent of Cal being on the back page, shall we say, in France. First French winner in over 20 years. He was 5 months the last time we had a French winner, and hopefully it's great for the French side of the sport.
It's so big that Johan Zarco get crashed in, and Johan comes so close himself but never quite delivered it, and he would seem genuinely happy for Fabio. Even got a mention on BBC.
Yeah, I think he got a couple. He did get a couple, but the fact is he wasn't on all the sports papers. It's just an attitude thing, isn't it? And I'm so pleased for Fabio. I'm pleased for French can only go